As you get ready to return to your sport, the one thing that you can count on, and maybe you've already started experiencing it, are you're going to get flooded with feelings of frustration, feeling that things are going too slow, and also a sense of inadequacy, like you've lost your confidence. And why is that? Well, with a layoff like this, you really have lost your edge. Your timing is off, your conditioning's off, it's frustrating, and the process of coming back is going to feel much too slow for you. You're going to want to be back to your old self yesterday. I'm Dr. Alan Goldberg. I'm a sports performance consultant, and I work with athletes across every sport at every level, helping them overcome fears, blocks, and establish peak performance. And today I want to talk about a perspective that you really need to take with you back into your sport, and a perspective that will make your life a whole lot easier. Okay, and I want to start by saying that feelings of frustration and anger, impatience, they're not your friend. As you go through this process of trying to get skills back and trying to get yourself back to that level that you used to be at, getting upset with your pace, getting upset with yourself because you're not performing the way you used to, is only going to slow the process down. Okay, frustration for all of us is a sign that our nervous system is revving up too much. We're getting into actually the fight response. We're impatient, we're annoyed, we're frustrated, we're angry with ourselves. And when that happens, all of your skills go offline. Anytime our nervous system gets overactivated, our trained performance skills, physical skills, our ability to think clearly, to strategize, to problem solve, those all temporarily get kicked offline. So if you let frustration rule your comeback, if you let frustration kind of determine what happens to you, you're going to be really, really upset. See, and where does the frustration come from? It comes from having expectations. You come back to your sport and you have certain expectations about what you'd like to have happen. And as an athlete, if you go into a performance with expectations, you're going to come out really disappointed. Because what expectations do is they create pressure for us, they create a sense of urgency, and they get us trying too hard. And the only thing you should really expect during this comeback is that you're going to be frustrated and it's not going to be fast enough for you. So let me give you a metaphor that I've found really helpful, especially with working with athletes who've had to take time off because of injury. And that metaphor is, you can look at this as a marathon, or you can look at it as a sprint. And if you have a sprint mentality, you're going to want to get this recovery over immediately. You're going to have expectations you should be back, to your old self with very little time elapsed. Okay, the problem with that is that you're going to end up incredibly disappointed and more frustrated. Having a marathon mentality means you understand this is going to take time. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. It'll happen over time, but you have to be patient. A good way for me to explain this to you is to talk about a swimmer I work with, a young lady by the name of Janet, who is 16, who is really lighting the world up, swimming-wise, in terms of her world, before a forced layoff happened to her. She had gotten her Junior Olympics time. She was attracting college coaches, Division I college coaches. She was on top of the world. Her confidence was at an all-time high. She was training incredibly well. And then she got mono. And she got a really serious case of mono. She was out for 3 to 4 months. And during that time, she could not train at all. Obviously, she couldn't be in the pool. She lost her cardio. She lost her muscle strength. When she came back, when she was finally cleared by the doctor, she was really in for a rude awakening. I mean, kids that she used to beat her easily. Her times were way slower than they had ever been. And she was so upset with herself and so frustrated, and she kept putting more and more pressure on herself. And the more pressure she put on herself, the worse she did. And the worse she did, the more pressure she put on herself. And she got to a point where she was ready to quit. She had lost her confidence. She started feeling like, I don't have it anymore. And that was when she called me. And what I said to her is, listen, what's normal is that you should be feeling frustrated and inadequate and like this process is too slow. That's normal anytime you have any kind of layoff. Okay? And what you have to do is, through this process, you need to be kind and you need to be patient with yourself. I think I've talked about this in another video. You have to have this attitude of go slower, arrive sooner. You take your time, you'll actually get there faster. And the other thing I said to her is, listen, those old goals you had, getting a college scholarship right now, whatever the goals are, getting a certain time, a certain cut, introducing yourself to college coaches in a way that they really want to recruit you, those have to be on a back burner. Your main goal right now is to work on the process of getting your skills back, getting your timing, getting your cardio back, getting your strength back. All of that stuff that's important that you used to do automatically, these are the things you have to focus on. And in a funny way, if you focus on those things and stop pressuring yourself, what will end up happening is you'll actually go through this process a whole lot faster. You have to remember, this is a marathon. And in a marathon, there are going to be times where you feel like crap, you feel like garbage, you feel like you can't go on, you're frustrated, you're down on yourself. And then there are going to be times when it feels a lot easier. And that's the headset you have to have. If you have a sprint mentality, I don't know what would happen if you tried to run a marathon with a sprint mentality. You know, you'd be through the first mile and you would run into a wall that would crush you. So as you come back, you want to be kind, you want to be patient, but you want to keep a bigger perspective. You want to have a marathon perspective. Now, if you like this video, hit that bell icon. If you're interested in new ones, let me know any kind of comments that you have. As I always say at the end of these, I really would like to present things that are relevant to you. So please leave me your feedback. Sign up for my channel. Stay safe. Thank you for watching.